Hold up.
Hi guys, welcome back to Rob Buzz Uncensored with Claudia, Tony, and Chris.
Hey,
I was waiting on him. I was like,
it's always Claudia, Chris, and Tony.
it's been too long. It's been too
It's
long.
been a while.
We had a little break. You know, we want to welcome Tony back. He's back.
Yes.
So we missed you.
I'm back in action.
We missed you, but yeah. And so, how's everybody else? How's the holidays for you?
It was great.
It was good.
good.
Yeah.
It was good.
We had so much fun.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
I hope everybody had a good Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. I know not everybody celebrates. Everybody has different religions and stuff, but hope everybody had a good holidays. That's all. That's important, healthy, and we're prosper and go from there. So what's up?
Yeah, no.
Today's topic, guys. What's today's topic?
It is around. Let me get a drum roll. Life without kids and what that looks like. Is that the new thing nowadays where, people wanted to get together, start a family, the white picket fence, the little dog, the one or two kids, the great neighborhoods and things of that nature, where I guess modern times nowadays with just financial income and economics, people are leaning towards the maybe not have the kid and, cherish the old ways of living to where, the suburban home or the community townhome next to downtown and, doing the traveling, the adventure, pursuing the careers, things of that nature. I mean, what do you think?
Go or me? It don't matter.
Go.
My question, or my thing is just to not having. I think the generational thing has changed with religion. A lot of these younger generations, they're not pushed on whatever religious belief. I don't think they're pushed on it by the other generations anymore. I think like little by little it's gone away. Mm-hmm. So people don't value that anymore in a sense like of family and stuff like that. And I think social media, like everybody now sees a bunch of people that are just spending bukus of money and living this lavish lifestyle, and that's what everybody wants. So like kids don't equal that in a lot of people's way, like, oh, if I have all these kids and I'm stuck in a certain lifestyle or I'm stuck not able to do this or do that and X, Y, Z. And so that's why a lot of these, I feel some of these people are not having kids, young men and women are not having kids. And social media just portrays a lot of other things too, as far as, single moms and all this stuff like that. And, it's just it's a big thing. Social media has made a big influence on why people don't have kids. That's my opinion. Second is, economic wise, the cost of living, you hear everybody complaining about grocery stores and food and everything. It's like, why do you want to bring somebody in this world if you can't if you can't sustain yourself or your partner, why bring other human beings or other little creatures into this world, and you struggle to do it. I won't say creatures,
other little creatures.
but little mini me's and so whatever you want.
They're expensive.
It's expensive, and there's no manual on how you raise your kids and shit. It just is what it is, and that's my opinion. Those are my two big things. I think social media and financial,
And you said that it's also tied down to like religion.
Yeah, religion.
So you believe that procreation is connected to religion? Is that
I
what you're
believe
saying?
so because
Yeah.
I think with religion you learn a lot of values in like one family home and don't divorce, don't do this and stick it out and all this stuff like that. But when you don't have those core values, then the family value doesn't. I think you need the religious core value to help with the family value.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel. And then when you go to church, you see a lot of families there. So you see a lot of these, parents with kids, 2, 3, whatever the case may be, and it looks, and then if you don't surround yourself with those people, you surround yourself with people that just want to fucking party all the time, and they're just wanting to go out and have a good time, have fun, and then you don't ever see that, so you don't associate with any of that, and that's why I feel like people. And then, like I said, social media, people want to live in the penthouses nowadays and drive all these lavish cars and travel, which is nothing wrong with traveling and doing all that. Yeah, you want to do that too, but to me it's hard too because you have a lot of people like you should be getting married in your 20s and having your kids by 24. It's like I don't know. It's like
Does
at the
that
same
happen
time
anymore too?
not that I see.
Yeah,
Like nowadays you got people not having kids in their 30s,
30s,
late 30s, mid 30s, or some shit like that. And back in the 70s, at that time, you already had a house and you had been in that house and already have like 2-3 kids by then. And you're living, but back then it was only the husband would work and the wife wouldn't. She would be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
You don't see stay-at-home moms anymore. You know, it's because, you know, that, and then that's where the whole financial part comes into it, the cost of living. Now you have both parents. Now you have your kids at school and you're getting taught what you would assume like home stuff should be taught with the mother and not, and now you have a stranger teaching your kids all this stuff, you know, and then they're not even get taught properly, in my opinion. But
I would take a different take on that. I think people are being more responsible because if we're being honest with ourselves, I think past generations, we had a lot of people procreating that should have never been parents. There was a lot of abuse, psychological abuse. And I feel, and I've seen this where people are like, hey, I'm not capable of taking care of a kid. And so I would say they're being more responsible in that way.
I could see that. That's a valid argument though, too. So
Yeah,
like if you know in yourself that you can't be a parent, you don't want to be a parent, then
don't be a parent. And before, you used to have that pressure of having this image of like, you know, having the wife, being the husband, having the house, having the kids. But then there would be a lot of abuse that would go behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's my take.
No, true. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I mean, but it's just
and
like,
also the money part too. Yeah. Everything's so expensive now.
Yeah.
Like, it's so expensive. And I think people are more cautious about that. And yeah, why not want to travel? Like, why not want to like live your life and enjoy it? And then there's and you can still do that with kids, but it's a lot harder.
More expensive too.
It's more expensive. Yeah.
And then how truly could you go out and really venture where you're going?
Right.
You know, when you have kids.
Mm-hmm. You can definitely do it. It's not impossible, but it takes more planning, a lot of energy. And then also, you don't know if your child's going to come out with like a certain illness, right? So that's another thing to consider because a lot of kids are getting more sick now. So
are you saying with that is medical, I guess the unknowns is what's keeping people from wanting to have kids, like gambling that way of like, is my kid going to grow up or be born with a chronic illness or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of people are getting sick. I mean, look at the numbers. It's very common now. You know, we have a lot of what is it called? Genetically modified food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So makes a difference.
All GMO stuff and all kinds of stuff nowadays.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how they make this stuff nowadays.
And now they're also like creating these new viruses. But that's a whole different rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Let's not go there with that one today. That's for another. That's another day. Another day. That's like another hour and a half of
seriously,
if not longer. No, but yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense because if you
are being more responsible.
If you do have a child that's unfortunate and you have these medical condition, like you're tied to something for life, because you get a lot of these parents who are like, I can't wait till they turn 18, get the hell out of my house, and you're on your own type situation, right? And you don't have to worry about it. But that's not the case when you have somebody that does have a mental disability or something like that was born with it.
It's for life.
That's for life. You're gonna have to care for that person for a very long time, and then
what's gonna happen whenever the parent passes away if the child doesn't pass away first? You have to think about stuff like that too.
Yeah, and so I guess people would get scared in that sense. Mm-hmm. But
it's not, and it's just about being cautious. And I respect people that don't want to have kids for those reasons.
Right.
Also, not everyone has a village. Not everyone has their parents to help them out.
Yeah.
Because they're still working too. Unfortunately, they're still working.
I mean, if we're not like working like people used to back in the day, like where they had to work in the fields and work in the farms, and it's so different. So now
Well, I think that's what Chris had mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. Like back in the day, it was just one income that was taking care of the entire family. Where now it's on average, you need 2 sources of income to kind of keep the things going. And if you don't have that support system put in place with relatives, whether it's grandparents or your parents or siblings or whatever the case may be, to kind of like help with the child care, especially when they're in a young age, that first year to 3 years, I mean, it's a critical time in a child's life to have somebody, within your circle to kind of help versus, paying the thousands of dollars in childcare services to have an unknown stranger watch not only your kid, but multiple kids, because on average, that one individual can watch up to like 5 to 7 kids by themselves, and you're thinking to yourself like, I can barely give one kid my attention, but I'm gonna pay them a couple $1,000 to overlook mine plus 5. And it's like, how much attention is your kid really getting? Not a lot. So I think people push that off a few more years, and over time they're gradually getting older, right? 30s is creeping to 40s. By the time you're hitting 40, you're thinking to yourself, well, at this point, I mean, is it even worth having a kid? You know, by that time that kid's graduating high school and I'm over here retiring, you know, from work. You know, it's so people push it off. Or if they do, they have one. So like we live in a generation right now where average household income is probably 1 to 3 kids on average, where call it 20 years ago, you know, a house was probably 4 plus 6 kids. And that was on one income getting by. So if we're right now averaging 1 to 3 and then go to the future 20 years from now, I mean, how many kids are really in a family home? Like, is that 1 per kid, like 1 per household, maybe 2 max?
Yeah.
You know, I come from a background where, you know, I had one family and it was like 12 sisters and brothers, you know, on my grandparents' side. That's huge numbers right there.
Yeah.
You know, to now where, you know, I think everybody that I hang out with, I can put 5 families up, and I guarantee you out of those 5 families, there's probably like 1 with 4 kids that I know. Everybody else has 1 or 2 kids on average. Because it's tough. It is financially tough. If you, and especially if you want to keep up with the traveling, the Disneyland, the parks and all those things. Like, it is expensive.
Also, the quality of care.
Yeah.
Before, they would have 12 kids, right? But what real quality of love and attention were they giving those 12 kids?
Nothing. It was the big kid watching the other kid and that kid watching the other kid.
Precisely.
I mean, it was just...
And now we really are trying to focus more on being better parents, I would like to think, right? And we're more cautious about that versus just having a bunch of kids.
But at the same time too, that's how a lot of like generations, like older generations, they're I can't speak all of them, but when you have siblings at that magnitude where you have like 6+ kids, you have people like those. Now your children not only have their parents to rely on, they have their siblings to rely on. Like you said, yeah, the oldest may get the like crappy end of the stick because they're the oldest and they're going to be relied on a lot by the parents to take care of the rest of the siblings. But at least that shows that other siblings start respecting the older one. And then it kind of like makes a bond differently when you don't have that many siblings, you know? Because nowadays, like there's some siblings that are far, far apart. You know, like the bond is harder when you're like so far apart in age or whatever, whatnot, as opposed to like back then, you know, like my parents, me and my siblings are 2 years apart, you know? And that's what you see a lot, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Now it's like 1, 5 years, 8 years. So, you know, they're all spread like far and wide now. And then, like you said, there's only maybe 1 or 2 kids nowadays. I know I have a good friend that they don't have that many kids, you know, and it's a lot of factors. 1, financial, being responsible. Like, can I sustain this? Can I sustain having 2, 3, 4, 5 kids or whatever the hell? And then if you can't, okay, how many jobs am I going to need? Right. You got people that are having like side hustles and, you know, 9 to 5 and all this stuff. And they're just like, that kind of takes toll to your health because now you're doing all this stuff and like you're not getting your sleep, you're not doing all this, and then you got to take care of a child, and that's if you want your wife to stay at home. That's if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. And sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you don't offer that. They have to work too. If it be remote nowadays, remote jobs are like the big thing now for a lot of working moms. Remote jobs, or if not, they have to get into some type of crafting like. Remember when I think that cricket thing where the little cups and stuff?
That was a big thing.
That was real big. People were those things were popping up everywhere. Everybody was selling everything, you know, like because there were these, I guess these stay-at-home moms. They were, hey, that's an easy way to make income. I don't have to leave the house.
What was that? The cricket?
It was like the cricket machine. Is like
they're making cups.
The little
cricket
thing that people were making cups and
I
shirts.
remember that, and they would sell them on Etsy or something. Like
that.
That.
You know, that was like a big thing too several years ago. Like I knew a bunch of my aunts, everybody was like making all this side hustle because, you know, it's tough out there trying to pay the bills when your electricity is crazy and stuff these days. And yeah, I don't know. And then you got all the, you know, all the crazy stuff that happens in this world. You got people kidnapping. You got, you know, that's been big news too. So like people are scared like, well, I'm going to, you know, how hard is it going to raise a kid now in this messed up world that we live in, you know?
Oh, I can
Right.
see that right now. I'm just
School shootings,
blown away.
yeah.
It's like I don't want to have a kid because somebody's gonna kidnap my kid. I'm like,
It's
but
true. It's
that-
a real.
but that-
It's a real thing.
As a mother, you definitely think about stuff like
yeah,
that.
things like that happen.
Yeah.
Things like that do happen. You know.
But then you got people who are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just thinking, you know, negative." It's like,
It's
well,
not. It's
and people are just being precautious. Yeah, being
Yeah.
cautious and stuff like that. But I mean, it's crazy to think that. So I don't know, but
So the main
I don't think that's like that in other
is the
countries,
money
though.
Then. The main
I think it's a
factor is-
financial
financial
Yeah,
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
sure.
It's a financial thing and just caught up in living life. I mean, a lot of times it's like, you know, people just, you know, out of high school, they're going into college or they're doing the you know, getting into the workforce and, you know, they're focusing on, you know, themselves, their career, they're traveling and then just moving up that ladder. You know, by the time you know it, you're already 30 and have you settled down? You know, have you married? You know, are you still focusing on your career?
Oh, that's another one.
You know,
finding a partner.
Yeah, and then
it's hard.
And then at that point, you get with somebody, and then you guys are experiencing these things together, traveling and working on building something, right? And yeah, you're 40, and then you're getting information from the doctor, like, well, I mean, you can't because of your age or whatever the case. And at that point, it's like you throw in the towel, and say, fine, whatever, it's not for us.
And it's funny that you say that with the whole where people are not. Fertility is hurting a lot of people nowadays for women and men because
They
of
have
the
a
stuff
lot.
that we eat,
Yeah.
the stuff that's in food, you know, and stuff like that. Clothing too, like all the, you know, synthetic fabrics that we use and you sweat in it and stuff like that. That seeps into your body, and that apparently doesn't help, you know, men with their, you know, with their reproductive stuff, and women the same thing, you know. And it's now you have IVF, it's like a big thing, and then even then they even struggle to do that, you know. And it's just like with the food and how healthy we are too,
Right.
Because there are people out there that do want to have kids
they can.
can't.
and they can't,
Yeah.
you know. And then you got the people that shouldn't have kids having kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being irresponsible in a sense, I guess you could say. But I you go back to the partner thing. There's a lot. You see a lot of people you see a lot of like divorces and stuff nowadays, or people just having kids with people and they're like, oh, we're not together anymore. Like, we were never married. You know, people don't do the marriage things anymore. Like they don't do like, you know, religiously like
That's the tradition, you know. we
get
touched on.
married and then have your kids, you know, or whatever, whatnot. Now it's flopped, you know, and then I just think it's a lot of things. We can go on and on with like so many scenarios and
That or people get animals, people get dogs.
Oh, and then people- yeah.
you know,
Listen, back in the day, it used to be an insult whenever they would say, well, if you don't find someone, you're going to be an old lady with cats. Now people are striving for that. They're like, yeah, and what? Like, that's what I want. I want peace of mind.
I just want my
you should
cat.
always want peace,
Yes.
no matter what. You should always want to be able to come home, and that's your place of peace. That's your privacy.
It's no
your place of
longer
peace.
an insult. No, it's not an insult.
But that's for you have to take time to choose your partner too. So,
And that's the
so
hard part.
my question is, so what's the for y'all too? What would you consider the ideal for somebody to want to start a family, but wanting to do all this stuff? Like, is it get out of high school at the age of 18?
No.
Right? You know, there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I got like." In some religious thing, they're like, once you get out of high school, you should be able to have, you know, find your boyfriend, whatever, and then by 20 be married, and then by 20 something you already have kids. I still think
I think that's insane to want to believe that because it's like you
I was like,
haven't
at
even
what point-
experienced life when you
Yeah.
got out of high school. You haven't even got your first plays. You haven't even you know build up your credit score. Like, you haven't even made your first like actual purchase of a vehicle. Like you purchasing the vehicle, and that your
Yeah.
parents buying you a vehicle, and you're still driving it. You know, for a few years later, like you haven't checked those boxes to understand what it is to be an adult.
Yeah.
So do you think there's like a specific time? I don't think there is.
I don't think there's a specific
there's
time.
no specific time.
But I was just trying to see
There
if
isn't.
anybody would throw a number out there.
No,
Like,
there isn't. No,
like-
there isn't.
like-
Because I've seen people that have had kids like right after high school and they're doing great. They're still married together.
Yeah.
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 I mean, and there's fortunate
Yeah.
people. There's people that have their high school sweethearts that hey, it happens. You find
Yeah.
that one person, you stick to it.
I
There's
have a
nothing wrong with
cousin
that.
that she has like the perfect life. A boy and a girl, a nice house.
Is it
She's
really
still-
perfect? Not.
Well,
But
no,
what's
no,
perfect?
no.
What
You're
is-
right. You're right.
what is perfect?
Yeah,
What is perfect?
Behind
That
closed
is-
doors.
Right? No,
Oh,
very true.
man.
Very true, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on paper it looks good.
Paper looks good.
The house,
looks
the
good.
2 cars, the 2 dogs, the 3 kids.
Or on social media looks good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think everything has a cost, right? Like you have to pay.
There are sacrifices.
There are sacrifices at whatever age. If you're young, you're going to end up losing your young years, sacrificing your youth, taking care of kids.
Yeah.
When you're older, you're not going to have the same energy. You're just not.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to give something no matter what year.
What do you feel like there's a lot
are.
of these I don't want to say self-proclaimed people that are like, what do you call these guys and women that are like, they're like lifestyle coaches and motivators and stuff like that?
They're great.
And they talk about, like a lot of them, I've heard a lot of them talk about like you're young, getting out of high school, your young 20s, 18 to 20 or 20. That should be the time where you hit. That's when you should be running and working your butt off.
Yep.
Not worrying about kids, not worrying about like working your butt off to get to have, if it be in a corporate world or it be entrepreneurship. Get something going.
Yeah.
Working your hard because like you said, once you get to a certain age, you don't have the same energy as you were when you were younger. So they say when you get to that older age, that's when those are your golden to relax and chill out. And like some people say, your goal is to retire by 40. Your goal is to retire, where you mean you have already maybe properties and that's making you income, whatever. And then that's when you start your family. It's like, but then it's hard to start a family at that age too, because then your fertility is not the same.
Right.
Then you're
Exactly.
struggling.
Everyone that's your age is already married. So the fact that you're going to find a partner that's around your age is going to be even harder.
Yeah, because then there's some people that don't want to have a woman that comes with a story or whatever you want to call it nowadays. Yeah, or luggage or baggage or whatever you want to.
It's not baggage,
but that's why I say the story. That's why I said it was a story. Because there's a story behind everything.
There's a story behind what happened.
I mean, it's true, but
on both sides. Yeah,
and that goes for women too, because there's a bunch of men out there too that are solo dads. I don't know what you want to
do you want the novel story? Or do you want the magazine?
pretty much. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just, to me, it's hard. To me, like, it's hard to, like, I just wanted to see what anybody would throw out there to be like a perfect age to start or whatever.
There is no perfect
because
age.
it's like, all right, do I start young, work my ass off, don't worry about family and kids, and get my success?
Right.
And then by the time I'm done, then start the family, and could that be too late? Or, like you said, start young, and then, you're sacrificing because you could struggle.
I'm not saying that because I waited. Because
But I'm saying, but like you said, you're like, yes, a family member or somebody that came out of high school with kids or friends or something like that, or do it that way. And then maybe not be as successful.
Right.
Because your youth, and then you do want to get successful. You're
Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just do whatever is best for you.
What makes you feel right.
Because everyone is so different, and the word success is going to be different for everyone.
Because some people just want peace.
Yeah, precisely. Some people just want a big family, and that to them is success, a happy family. Other people just want millions of dollars,
and
like me.
And that's what we're going to ask you, the viewers. What age do you think is the right age in life to want to settle down and have kids? Or what do you feel? I mean, is this something that, you want to pursue, or maybe just not have kids?
Exactly.
And give us your take and your opinion on what your beliefs are, what you see, in the day-to-day culture. The perfect family image. Or, you know what? I just want to just live my life, build a career, travel the world, and be happy with just cats.
Lots of cats. Or doggies. Doggies too.
Or dogs. Dogs are fine too.
Well, on that note, thank you, Tony, for coming back. And,
thank you for having me.
We like to have you. Well, it's your seat, but
I know, but still.
Yeah, I know. You're making it so
like we kicked you off and then brought you back up.
Garfield was here. I was little.
Yeah, Garfield took your spot. But
I was laughing.
But all right, guys, thank you very much. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Hold up.